everyone. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? 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 How are you feeling today? I am Miss Sue, the woman behind Little Baby Campus, and if you are new to my channel, welcome in. I have been a family childcare provider for over 13 years, and I operate in the state of Illinois. I work by myself. I am also author to Overcoming Daycare Burnout, Steps to Living Your Very Best Daycare Life. And today I wanted to come and do my, check-ins, conversations with you. Let's talk. What are we going to talk about today? Today I wanted to ask you, when you walk into your daycare space, how do you feel? How do you feel when you get on the floor and look up? How do you feel? How do you feel when you're sitting at the children's chair and look? How does it make you feel? When you leave your house and you go to, say, the shopping mall or maybe out for a dinner date, and or even when you leave and go on vacation and you change your lenses, and you come back in, how do you feel when you walk in your house, your daycare, just your environment? Do you see your environment as a third teacher? Do you see it as a welcoming place and space for the children? Do you see it filled with creativity and love and calmness and just joy? Or when you walk in your space, are you feeling overstimulated, overwhelmed, scared, angry, apprehensive? How are you feeling when you walk into your space? When the children enter your doors, do you see it as, oh God, here we go again. Another day of cleaning up. Another day of them tossing toys all over the place, and then I have to bend my back to clean up. How do you feel? When the children play in a manner that is not the way that you want them to play, how do you feel? Search ourselves and let's just be honest about how we feel at times. On days when I am, say, sick and not having my best energy, and days like when I sit, I still, love for them to play and help to facilitate their plays. But there are days when my dramatic room the door is closed, because I know if they go in there, it's going to be a lot of play, and then I'll need to clean the toys, because we're living in a COVID era where we clean all the toys. So days when I'm not feeling my best, there are certain rooms that I won't open, just because I know that it's going to take more out of me for cleaning and packing back. Because even though we ask the children to clean up, sometimes the cleaning up process is not like putting the toys where they belong, even though we ask them to put the toys where they belong. When an adult cleanup is different from when a child cleanup, so when you look in your place and space, how do you feel when you enter? How do you feel when it's a hot mess? Are you overwhelmed? Do you want to pull out some toys to make life better for you? How do you feel when you see they're playing on the rug? Is the rug just too colorful for you? Is it hurting your eyes now? Is it that you're going through a stage where you want to transform your space into a more neutral look? Or is it that you want to add more colors? Are you a colorful person? Are you tapping into how your space makes you feel, and to also bringing your personality into your space? Because I think our homes and our daycares should reflect who we are. I'm a Jamaican woman, so I have like a lot of calabash, I have a lot of baskets, I have a lot of wood pieces, and I have like nature pieces, because that's my culture, that's what I'm accustomed to, and that's what I love. I have like insects and bugs, and that's my roots, and it's who I am. What do you have in your space to reflect you and how do you feel when you walk into your space? If you find that you are not liking your environment anymore, what steps can you take to tone down your environment, or to make your environment speak to you in a loving, gentle manner that is just good for you as a whole being, you know? So that's it. I am just doing a quick video with my daycare providers to just, if you can, look at your space with a different eye, or take a video of your room, you know. And that's one of the things that I did, why I realized that I just really needed to do something differently. I took a video of my space, and I think it was while I was on vacation, I was going through and looking, and when I looked at the video of my space, I was like, no. Uh, 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 uh. You know, yes, that's it. I was in Jamaica at my sister's house in Mandeville, and when I went to her house and looked how clean and beautiful and just how bright and everything it was, I was scanning through my phone, and then I saw my daycare, and then I realized, oh no, I just had to do something different. That started in 2016, and then even the house, painting the house, and you know, taking out some things, and then in 2018 I started to paint the walls and do something differently. And then I uploaded a video on one of my social media, and then I was criticized as to all that was in my space. It was just like too much. And I think my educators, they felt overwhelmed looking at it, and they were like, you know, can you do this? And they gave me suggestions. At the time, I was so critical of it. I was so upset about the criticism, and I wanted to prove all the reasons why my space was just looking so fantastic, because I was using reference of where I was at the time to where I was at the time compared to like 2, 3, 4 years ago. And in my mind, I did make a lot of adjustments. But now when I look, you know, take the frame out, the forest in the tree in the forest, when I looked at it, I realized that it was still a little bit, not a little bit, but it was really a place full of clutter. And then I decided that I needed to soften my space because I was getting older anyhow, and just wanted somewhere that is more neutral. Even though I'm a colorful person, I love color. Not because I love color, my environment had to be so colorful and just popping with color to, you know, overwhelm my eyes. So I toned down my daycare, and I decided what items I wanted to come in. And I also made a decision not to teach the traditional way where, oh, you're sitting at the desk, you're learning numbers, shapes, and that, and like have a rigid school. I didn't want to do that anymore. I just wanted to bring light and laughter and love in my environment for the children to just learn naturally with play. And so I created a play-based environment. Now, when you look at your daycare, get outside of the picture box, get outside of the frame, take a video of your space, and ask a friend if they can look at it and see what needs adjusting. What do they see? Because our eyes are so trained to see what we see that sometimes we really truly don't see that, oh my goodness, it's just too much for a child. And one of the things that I love to do is that I love to play on the floor with the children. And then when I get down on their level and I look up, I can actually see what they're seeing. And I am fortunate that I have now created a space in my mind, because I'm open for suggestions. Of course, please criticize me. Please tell me what you see, you know, because your lenses are different from mine. And I am totally up for suggestions. I love when people can chip in and say, oh, Miss Sue, you think this and so, but why don't you do so? Why don't you, you know, let me know, let's talk, you know. But one of the good things about it is when the children are on the floor and I get down on the floor and I look up, I don't feel overwhelmed by what I see. And I'm hoping that they don't either. And maybe a video of doing your daycare like up top, scanning it, and then going down to the bottom and scanning it to see what the children are seeing may help to get you in a good space, for you to feel that joy, calmness, and the energy that you want in your space. Because the way our environment is designed and structured, it has a lot to do with the emotions of the children, the behaviors too. And like when I was doing the traditional schooling, I remember, and maybe that's a different video. Maybe I'm chatting too much, but maybe that's a different video. But I just wanted to just emphasize something. When I was doing the traditional teaching in my daycare, where the children circle time, sit at the desk, crisscross applesauce and everything, my children they wouldn't sit still, and I was like, my Jamaican husband's like, oh, what's up with you? You got ants in your pants. But then the more I learned and the more I researched and the more educated I got, I realized that it's really hard for children to sit at a table, especially young children, because remember, that's what we do, 0 to 5. I'm not talking about when you go into the elementary setting. That's a totally different thing, and the teachers can deal with it when they get there. And yes, we want to prepare our children to get to the point where they can sit still for a little bit and can listen to directions and all of that. But what I'm talking about is like a 2-year-old, a toddler, a mobile infant, and a 3-year-old. It's hard to have them to sit still with their hands like this, crisscross applesauce. They're touchy. And what I realized is that when I look back, my environment at the time caused them to want to touch and not sitting in circle time because the blocks were right there, or the books were right there, and all of these toys were right there. The house was there. So now I do not do like a traditional sit down circle time, but what I do is just conversations, and I am not rigid as to sit down, listen to this, because there are times when children do not want to sit with that conversation and they want to do maybe magnetiles, the light table. So I allow children to learn without being rigid with where they need to be, what they need to do, and for me to be like constantly on them and telling them come here, instead of what they really want to do, of learning with maybe the trains, seeing how it runs down on the ramp. Maybe they want to learn with dinosaurs. Maybe they want to learn with magnetiles. Maybe they want to learn with Legos. Some children just love to write. I have children who are in here who are only 3, and they come to the writing area, they take their crayon, and they go and they sit at the table, and I make the materials accessible to them so that they can actually take it and bring it and sit down and enjoy it. So again, look around your classroom. Is your classroom making you uncomfortable? Is it making you twitch? When you look at your classroom, and you also observe the children in your classroom, are they coming in and using the materials, or is it like a chaotic thing where they're doing 40 different activities at the same time? Mind you, sometimes, I have children who they will want to do blocks, then they move to trains, then they move, and that's just how children are. Sometimes they don't even know what they want, but they just want to touch and go. I try to have them clean up, but sometimes it's just too much on me asking them to put the toys back where they belong, or the cleanup process. And sometimes they don't want to play for a long time with the blocks, but they want to go over and read a book, but then they come back to the blocks, so unfortunately or fortunately, for me, I have my daycare downstairs where my house is upstairs. My living quarters is upstairs, so it's separated. Look at the bird. So it's separated, so I can facilitate their play for longer hours because of how my place is. For some daycare providers, we know we're pack and go and we clean as we go, so the toys can't stay out for a long time. It's like after they're finished playing with that, they take it up. But still, The meat of the matter is just to do a quick video of your space and see if there are some things that you want to pull out, if there are too many toys that are accessible to the children, if you want to get into the habit of rotating your toys. Maybe it's your rug that needs changing. Could it be that we need to thin out the amount of books that we have on our bookshelf? How do you feel? Are you happy, sad, joyous? Are you feeling calm, or are you feeling like a nervous wreck just looking at your daycare? Yeah. So take a video of your space, send it to your friend, and let them look at it with different lenses. And then, yes, you may not like what you hear, but at the same time, I think as providers, we work together, we inspire each other. And when you think about it, we have so many years of experiences together combined. We have maybe hundreds of years of experiences together. And each experience that our friends have can also benefit us. And that's why I love talking to fellow daycare providers, because we really learn from each other. Maybe it's a technique that I have that inspires you, you have that inspires me. Like, I have a friend, and when I went to her daycare, she has a massive daycare and it's a home daycare. When I went to her space after going through all this process, she was able to help me with my garage, what you call it, my garage compartment. Oh God, so where's your brain? With how my garage was set up, the cleaning, the organization, that's the word. She was able to help me with the organization of my garage. She was able to help me with the organization of my laundry room too, because you know, as daycare providers, we have toys in our laundry room, the attic, the shed. We have a lot of toys. That's just who we are, you know, because we're always trying to find ways to entertain the children. So sometimes we go out on a limb and we just buy a lot of toys, and we need to store them away, not necessarily in our daycare for everything to show. Yeah. So we learn from each other, and she also helped me get into like a lot of organization. She is so organized that she helped me to like thin down some of my products. And then she came over and she's like, oh miss, so I don't think this, you can just donate that, goodwill that one. So find a friend that can help you in your process of thinning out your daycare, and also make use of Facebook Marketplace or eBay or Etsy or daycare exchanges. If you know someone who is just starting out their daycare and you have toys that you know can benefit that person, don't be selfish. Come on, you know, offer that to somebody else, because it's really benefiting the children. All right, so that was my message today. It was kind of long and right, but the message is, look in your space and see how it makes you feel. If when you do your video and you see that you have like stacks and stacks and stacks of things like red, yellow, blue, pink, white, try and see if one color would make it softer on your eyes. If it's just all red or all blue or all yellow bins, or all white bins, or all black bins, or gray. I love gray. Gray is such a beautiful neutral color, you know. Instead of having everything that is just so mix matchy, maybe having tubs that are of the same uniformity in terms of the color, the lid, the style, the see-throughness of it. Find what you think will help your space to be more appealing for you and the children. Because remember, as a home daycare, I mean, we live in our home. This is where we are. And if when you go on vacation and you come back and you don't like the space that you walk into, that's an indication that some things need to change. Yeah. It may not happen overnight. It may take some time for that change to be in effect, like it did for me. It took a number of years, and each year I was pulling out, painting, doing this, doing that, changing the this thing here. I had to change that too, you know. So sometimes we go about and we change little bits, little things in our daycare, and when we keep doing that, I guarantee you within 2, 3, or 4 years, you will see how transformed your space is. So it's not a race, but it's just getting to the point where you identify that maybe something needs to change for your mental health. And we all know how mental health is important. All right, so have a great day and thanks for tuning in. I am Miss Sue, the woman behind Little Baby Campus. And as usual, sometimes I ramble on and on and on, but it's just how do you feel when you're in your space and place? If you do not like how you feel, change it. Change it. You are in the driver's seat. That's a beautiful thing about when you work or you own a home daycare. It's not like a school where you have to abide by what the principal says or what the superintendent says. No, you're in the driver's seat and you can actually do what you want in your daycare for it to flow. I just had my licensing rep come over, and I usually pass my visits, my assessments, but at the same time, I don't have traditional toys in the daycare, you know? So don't be afraid to make changes. Change is part of life. And just like how a butterfly has to go through the metamorphosis and change, this is something that is important for all of us when we grow, that growth also is synonymous with change. All right. So have a great one and thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. All right. Bye now.